Oh yeah. You listen to some pontoons? What? That's terrible. Hello. Oh my goodness. Let me put my blanket skirt back on. My toes are really cold, but my head is what tunes? Gauge. Oh, blanket. I definitely spent more time watching you last year. You're probably busy. And you know what? Last year, weren't you like really super into doing your school stuff? That was horrible, horrifying. Is this better? What are you doing? You're not wearing pants? I am wearing pants. I'm wearing pajama pants, and they are they they I pull them down over my feet, but I still like having the blanket because it's really soft. It's a really soft blanket. But I like having that on because it drapes over my entire lower half, keeping the warmth there, and then the rest of my body stays at a good temperature as well. So anyway, but yeah, no problem. No problem at all. You know what? It's been so long that I can't remember what we called you before. But that's okay. Anyway, welcome to One Line of Code. I am One Line. This is Community Day because it's Friday. Everyone loves a good Friday. I am going to open up Discord so that I can be ready for any voice chats for anyone that wants to do that. Since I started late, I just want to have that going. I'm going to make sure that that gets output. So if you do want to discuss anything using your voice, then I have a room in a voice channel in Discord. It will be a long weekend. That you can hop into the stream waiting room or one of the other voice channels, and I'll pull you into the stream channel. However, keep in mind that if you do go into one of the, if you do, Scott, if you do use your voice on the stream, I post my streams to YouTube. So your voice will come through, it'll be on the recording, and it will also get posted to YouTube. So I understand if you are not comfortable with that, I will still be happy to have a conversation with you over chat. Just let me know what topics you feel like discussing. I do have something that I want to go through today. Plus, we had a discussion with GokuJax on Monday where we were talking about using a repository pattern versus services versus using a mix of both, and what approach I use and my feelings on that, and out of breath. So we'll get into that. However, the thing that I would like to play around with today is tutorials. So like here's my here is my Chrome and all of the tabs that I have currently in my Chrome. I have to explore, to read, to watch, tutorials, because it works, you know, tutorials. Do you get it? Do no? So anyway, last, what, 2 weeks ago, maybe 3 weeks ago, we tried looking at using the WebView control that they now have available for HoloLens for Unity projects for UWP to thank you. Thank you. Scott gets it. He even gave me a sympathy laugh. Um, so at the time that we looked at it, there was no documentation really on how to use a WebView control in a HoloLens app. We tried stuff anyway, and then at the end, the only thing that we did was follow the original tutorial for getting started with a HoloLens app by using the mixed reality feature tool to add the MRTK foundation and all of the things needed to get a new Unity app for HoloLens working. Well, since then, there was this thing that was on their GitHub that was like, WebView 2 preview is available. Here's the documentation on how to get started. And that documentation came out on the 15th, so 2 weeks ago, and I still missed it until Deflux pointed it out. And then he also pointed out a shout out that happened in the video. So this person gave a presentation. I think it was this person. A presentation at, you're just a collaborator. I don't know. Might have been that person, might not have. But at Microsoft Build, where they just briefly mentioned the WebView being available for HoloLens, and then they showed this really quick demo of a browser on the wall where the user interacted with the browser, and there was this table, this really rudimentary table that showed up in AR as a hologram. And I was like, I want to do that. So I can imagine ways for us to turn the financial management application into something like that, where there are components on the page that you can interact with that will give you holograms to use. So here is another resource that we have from that. I want to actually duplicate this, please, so you can stay over her in that group and duplicate you. Okay, so here's our getting started. Oh, whoops. This actually needs to go back. Okay, here is the getting started project on GitHub on the actual WebView 2, or I guess Microsoft Edge organization. And this project here is the very basic, let's use the WebView plugin for Unity to set up a browser essentially on your own. So what I would like to do while we're waiting for anyone who might want to join our voice channel, or even while we are talking with people in the voice channel in Discord, because it's community day, we are going to go through the tutorial for essentially creating this project. I tried it out and it is not impressive, but I'm hoping we learn something. I'm really hoping we learn something that we can use and then immediately start trying to apply with our app. One limitation that it sounds like is going to happen is that the app, it really is just the way that the mobile WebView stuff. Yeah, I mean, I've always wanted to, Scud. And that's why I don't want to do it while we're still working on the main project during the normal stream days. I want to finish the main project, and then I want to see if there are ways to incorporate HoloLens for that project. So we'll keep building on it. We'll do even more cool stuff. We'll use AI for it. I'm currently doing the Microsoft challenge for the AI 900 certification. So that'll be good. And Nightlight came in. I want to thank you for mentioning the .NET Build Challenge. Whoops. In the last stream, I'm currently working on the Cloud Development Challenge. Yeah, that was the first one that I did. That's the AZ204, right? Or it prepares you for the AZ204 exam. And I used that and I got my AZ204 certification last year. And I'm really, really happy about that. I don't know what the process is for renewing it, but I plan on renewing that certification this year. I just have to make sure to do it before September. Yes, it is. Cool. So let's look at them really quick since I don't have them open anymore. What is it called? Cloud, Microsoft Build Cloud Skills Challenge. Okay, so the possible certification exams that you could get for free by completing the certification challenge are these. And this Cloud Solutions one, wait, that's not the Cloud Solutions one. Anyway, the AZ204 has a ton of Azure related concepts. It covers everything from data lakes to functions to app functions to Power Platform. So this is a good, well-rounded certification for anyone that is going to be working with Azure. It's tough too, by the way. I did not find it easy to do that. Another one would be the DevOps. But again, since this year's MS Build was focused all around the AI stuff that they're integrating, I'm like, you know what? Now would probably be a good time to get an official AI Microsoft certification. I'm sure that there are ones that are more impressive than AI fundamentals, but right now I need the fundamentals. I need the very base foundation of this technology. I guess the other thing to show then is ChatGPT. So you're going to see all of my history. Chat.openai.com. They have these things called plugins or extensions. So you can see I was asking about how to use the WebView 2. So they've integrated into the ChatGPT Plus the ability to choose plugins and extensions. To enable it, you just go into your settings and then beta features, and you can turn on browse with Bing or turn on plugins so that it's not limited to only the information that it had from the past or from 2021 and before. So you could tell it, how do I set up a new Unity project for HoloLens development? Use Bing to find the answer. Except that it's not showing me the plugins. Oh, yeah, it is. Okay. And now, no, I said use Bing to find the answer. Stop. 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 Okay. You actually have to select it, apparently. And there it goes. So this is telling you that it's using the plugin or extension. What they were trying to stress in MS Build was that it's super duper easy to create these extensions. You have an API endpoint. That's all you need, according to them. I want to find out how to do that. This thing is doing a lot of failing for clicking on links. That's nice. Yeah, I think it's only for ChatGPT Plus currently. But they did say that they're going to bring it to GPT 3.5, 3.5, 3, whatever. Yeah, and it's updated with stuff from current searches, not just September 2021. And so you can see right here, it's actually building up a knowledge base for this specific question and failing to click on things. But once it's done, then it gives you an answer the way that you would expect ChatGPT to. With citations this time, though. So here's the link that I used to get this information. Here's the link that I used to get this information. But not only that, but wait, there's more. So you can use, like I said, plugins, and you can find plugins in the plugin store. You can only have 3 enabled at a time, apparently. There's a whole bunch of stuff that I'm like, why did you make this decision? Did you just throw this together as quickly as you could? So when you look at all plugins, there are 18 pages of them and growing. Last time I looked, there were only 17 pages. But There's no search functionality. So essentially what you do is you look through these plugins, read their descriptions, and you choose install if you want to use that particular plugin. And so you can see here that my default plugins are Browse the Web and some dev community plugin that says it's for recommending articles or users from dev community. And then Instacart, because I saw an example where they're like, give me a recipe for blah, put together an Instacart grocery list, and then actually add it to my Instacart groceries account, which I thought was really nifty, especially since I really enjoy cooking a lot. I'm looking forward to trying this one out. This one is called Website Performance, and so for anything that is published, which may be this financial management tracker, which I'll get to in a couple seconds. Why don't I have OBS Discord showing on this screen? I need to be able to watch. Oops. Watch down there. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. Like, the thing that I know is you pay the $20 ChatGPT Plus a month subscription thing, because this does say available exclusively to Plus users. And then you go to plugins beta, and then you choose the ones that you want to install. Put a check mark next to them. But yeah, this thing is supposed to check for accessibility, performance, best practices, SEO. Is it a progressive web app? Yeah. It might have been $20 or $10 at one point. Oh, Copilot is $10. But yeah, there you go. That's all that. So I am excited about this. If you aren't, I really apologize, but I want to do this so bad. I want to put together a new Unity project that uses the WebView control. The thing that I started saying before was that the limitation is this thing will only act in the way that the original way that you developed cross-platform mobile and web applications used to work, which is you create a web application and then in your mobile app you have some kind of web browser that just points to your page. And so that's what this feels like to me. You can't do real-time rendering of your Blazor content in this WebView control. I'm hoping I'm wrong, and I'm hoping that we're going to find out by going through this, but we'll find out, I guess. Okay, so I should have all of the requirements, but for those of you that do want to know what is needed to make a HoloLens app in Unity, you need Visual Studio, or I recommend Visual Studio. You could use Visual Studio Code, I'm sure, or JetBrains, or whatever else you can use as your editor in Unity. I want to try C#, but I can't get over Pascal case method names and curly braces on new lines. You don't have to use curly braces on new lines. That is just current standard for C#. You could put curly braces on same line. For example, I like my preferred code style is curly brace on same line, two space tabs, spaces as tabs. Tabs, not spaces. I know all of the good reasons why using the tab character for tabs is a good idea, and I agree with them, but my preference is still to use spaces anyway. But if you want to customize all of those rules so that it feels more like a Java-like or even JavaScript, Scott's like, tabs are greater than spaces. The end. I agree with you. I have no problem agreeing with you. I just have a preference that says I like using the spaces. One of the main reasons is for box selecting, multi-carat stuff. Another one is alignment. Yeah, that's what I would love. So there's a few ways that you can do that. GT. Yet, sorry, G 5G technician. Oh my gosh, I can read your name. I can read your name. Someone give me a cookie. Actually, don't give me a cookie. That'll just make me want more. Can you make it so it changes it back in Git so I can use that at work? There are so many tools that I've seen for other technologies, like JavaScript technologies, where as you are committing code to Git, it reformats it into the standard format, which I haven't seen anything for .NET projects yet, but that would be awesome. That'd be one really cool thing where your Git changes aren't based off of did you delete a space. 5 grand Turismo technician. So it's actually GT technician. Yes, got it. Okay. I really can read your name, see? Um, but what most people opt to do, which again, it's going to be based off of your team, and it sounds like you need this for your work, so you have to follow essentially the team's agreed upon coding format guidelines. But you would use a what are these things called? Config, editor config. You would add an editor config file, and that has all of your team's rules in it, so that regardless of your Visual Studio preferences, the I don't know why it didn't show up, but the editor config will take precedence. But your Visual Studio settings for yourself, for your personal projects, for your GitHub projects, however you want to do it, you go into Environment, Text Editor, I said, C Sharp, and then Code Style, and then New Lines, formatting New Lines. And this is where you can tell it to use curly braces on the same line. In all languages, you can set up your tabs versus spaces there. But I don't know what to tell you for teams. Like the experience that I would love to have is when I'm working in editor, I want to see it in my formatting that I prefer. And then when I push it to GitHub, it doesn't matter how it gets pushed to GitHub because when I open it in my editor, it's going to be formatted the way that I like it. Like GitHub should just be full of illegible code that only gets formatted when you're previewing it, either in GitHub directly. So like I open up a code and then it formats it, or open it in your local environment or code spaces or wherever. That'd be really nice to see, you know. But for now, you just kind of got to use what your team says to use. Okay. So yeah, again, feel free to keep bringing up discussion things, especially like your preferences. What do you like when you code? Or are there technologies that you're excited about, as excited as I am about trying to get AI? So I'm not specifically trying to target the HoloLens. It's just that the HoloLens really has been the best AR experience that I've had as far as being able to see and interact with holograms. But I just want to create AR experiences in general so that whatever the technology becomes, the same application can be used in that technology, be it contact lenses, be it projectors in a room that somehow project holograms and are spatially aware of where you are and what you're interacting with, whatever that technology becomes. whether it's implants, maybe, that surround your optic nerve. Oops, I already started scrolling. I want to read this though. Did I read it correctly? WebView 2 on HoloLens 2 and the WebView plugin for Unity are both in preview and are subject to change before GA. WebView 2 preview is available inside HoloLens. To access preview, we must enroll. We are enrolled. Our HoloLens is updated and has access to the WebView 2. WebView 2 is only supported for HoloLens 2 running the Windows 11 update. I has that. Oh yeah, I was going to say the requirements for this. So for anyone that is interested in getting started with just development in HoloLens, it doesn't have to be for the WebView 2 stuff. The things to get are, like I said, I recommend Visual Studio. The the Unity as per usual, I recommend the LTS, the latest LTS, and the MRT mixed reality feature tool. Yeah, the $4,000. Although Deflux got his for under $2,000, and I don't know how much Marcus got his for, but it was definitely less than the $3,500 price point that you would have to pay if you bought it off Microsoft website. Yeah, I didn't remember. Okay, I don't have as good a memory as you do, unless I write it down. So then, yes, the mixed reality feature tool would be the other thing to get, which you can get from this site here. Yes, this site here. And the cool thing is once you download it once, it's not that it's self-updating or anything, it's just that the endpoint that it queries for new packages from, that gets updated. It's kind of like using NuGet, a NuGet plugin, where the version of the NuGet command line tool doesn't change often. The thing that changes are the packages that you get from NuGet. So it is essentially a package manager for MRTK tools and other HoloLens related tools. So those four things, is that four things? Visual Studio, Unity, MRTK, or Mixed Reality Feature Tool. Yeah, and that's really all that you need to get started. You don't even need the headset. If you wanted to see what it looks like in the headset, you could get the HoloLens emulator. But the Unity development experience is pretty good. And that's what we're going to do today. If we have time, I'll try to clear off my desk and we'll put it in the HoloLens. Most likely won't because there's a lot of stuff to clear off. Actually, it's just my work laptop that I don't want to have on stream because it has the branding of the company. You can develop using any Microsoft mixed reality device using the MRTK. If you use OpenVR in general, you can do any device. Just add whatever special things a particular device needs. Like I think the Steam VR needs something special, and the Vive, yeah, and the MetaQuest, and but yeah. So what we're going to do is specifically targeting the HoloLens, but again, it's only for the sake of doing AR development. Because I just don't like the form factors of any of the headsets. Like none of them. This big thing that you have to put on your face. And even though the HoloLens, even though there's a clear visor here, when you're wearing it, two things. It's light but heavy enough that after 8 hours of wearing it, you feel neck strain. The other one is this band. So again, it's light, but this band does give you a nice groove in your hair, which you may like. Or if you're bald, it might not matter to you. If you don't use the band, then it gives you this really, really deep indentation on your forehead. Yeah, just get the contact lens version. Um, but that's not to say I don't like using the HoloLens, because I really do. I think the technology is amazing. I just wish the form factor were different. Um, I do like the approach that Magic Leap took, where it's kind of like goggles, but it's still aesthetically displeasing to me. What else is there? There is the Lenovo Think Smart glasses. There is the, I can never remember the name of the one that has the number 5 something or other. Tilt 5. There's plenty of options where it's like they're getting there, but it's not there yet. But what is there is the ability to create apps that are augmented reality focused, spatially aware, um, geopositionally aware, content aware. Yep. Now that I've talked about all the tools that you need to get started, let's get started. If you do want to do this WebView 2 thing, you will need to be part of the Insider program, have the Windows 11 update on your HoloLens, and that's it. That's all you need on top of the other things. Change, supported. WebView 2 enabled 2D applications on HoloLens 2. Then look at this. I will, I will. Just not now, because we want 3D. This tutorial, set up your environment, install Mixed Reality Toolkit by using the Mixed Reality feature tool, create the initial project. You're supposed to create the project and then install the MRTK using the whatever. Oh, here's where you're adding it. Okay, that's weird. So I don't know that this step is a real thing. I you're downloading and installing the mixed reality feature tool. Actually, you're downloading and extracting the mixed reality feature tool. You're not installing the toolkit, to my knowledge. But whatever, they say you do. That means you do. Configure WebView 2 prefab that will display web page content. So this is a thing that I'm hoping is not the only way to display rendered content in the WebView 2 control. But this says display web content, which means that it must exist on the internet. Probably also on your local network. It might work, provided you have cores set up so that you can accept connections from your HoloLens. And learn about WebView 2 concepts and interactions in Unity. Cool. That's what we want to do. Let's get started. You can see this project on here. You can use this, the completed project from the repo, as a baseline to add more WebView 2 functionality, which is what I was planning on doing, but I want to know how to set it up myself too. So that's where we're doing the thing from the beginning. Completed tutorial can be found there. Sample name is called this. Here's the link directly to the repo. And it's kind of weird though, because you can't clone just this project from the repo. You actually have to clone the whole repo. At least I don't know how to do it to where you're just cloning one folder from the repo. Um, Follow the major step sections in sequence below. This is not a major step. This is telling me about it, but I want to know about it. So good. About HoloLens to Unity Mixed Reality and WebView Control plugin. By combining HoloLens 2, Unity, the Mixed Reality Toolkit, and the WebView plugin for Unity, you can create immersive mixed reality experiences that seamlessly integrate web content. Like a magic. HoloLens 2 is a groundbreaking untethered holographic device. Can be tethered if you want it to be. Tethered to power. But that's about it. Another thing that I would love to see. So I think Lenovo got close to what I want, which is you have your, essentially the only thing that it should house is the display. So whether that is light field lenses or whatever technology they use for the lenses and for the light to be able to project into your eyeball so that it looks like there's a hologram. The sensors needed possibly for head motion, gaze, iris, and yeah, all of that stuff. And that's it. The holographic processing unit could be, and Wi-Fi modules or some kind of network communication module. Have a separate device that's either a thin client or a microcomputer or whatever that it communicates to with low latency over a direct connection to it. And that thing can be connected to your internet, your network, public network, whatever. So that thing has all of your internet connection, it has your holographic processing unit, has your graphics card, it has the processor of its own, RAM, all of that stuff, hard drive space. And of course your whatever device that you're using on your face would also have some small amount of storage, like 1 terabyte, that's in a card that's this big, that can cache stuff. So it doesn't always have to use the network connection to get whatever the latest real-time rendered thing is. But really, it's just, I want it to be just a display device so that it's as lightweight as it can be, as cordless as it can be, power efficient, and still have the same power and capabilities as a full headset. You know what I'm saying? That's just my dream. So, moving on. Seamlessly overlays digital information on the real world, rendering high definition holograms that stays in place and responds naturally to interaction. You can use the Unity game engine and Visual Studio to create your HoloLens 2 project. Unity is a versatile game engine. We know we've seen many game developers in our community. Shout out to Irish John Games, Red Cabin Games, CodeRad. What's his name? Anyway, all the people. Clayman Dev. Arguy, Revere, Black Mage. I'm just now looking through my list of people that I follow. Sedalix, can't forget Sedalix. Zach or Zach. I don't know how to pronounce his name. Yes. Anyway, all the peoples, all of the game devs that we have seen that use Unity in our community. Unity in our community. MRTK is how you get everything into your app. The WebView plugin is the new thing. Enables the integration of WebView 2 functionality into your HoloLens app. The WebView plugin for Unity simplifies the integration of WebView 2 functionality into your HoloLens 2 app by wrapping the WebView 2 control automatically handling rendering and automatically directing input to the WebView 2 control. This plugin also manages interrupt between Unity and WebView 2, enabling communication between JavaScript and Unity. Why not C# via messages and events? In Unity, the mixed reality WebView plugin for Unity can be installed by using mixed reality feature tool, which we will do. Okay, step 1, install Visual Studio. Done. Step 2, install Unity for HoloLens 2. Done. Step 3, configure the Unity project for mixed reality environment development. You didn't tell me to create the project yet. Why are you telling me to configure? Once you have a tool installed, you're ready to create and configure your project. The easiest way to get started, HoloLens 2 development. Okay. Mixed reality feature tool simplifies the process of discovering, installing, and managing mixed reality feature tool, including the mixed reality toolkit. Which, by the way, mixed reality toolkit, for those of you that are just now getting started into this thing is paused indefinitely. They stopped doing development on it, which is kind of odd. But right now, even though they are not actively doing development on the mixed reality toolkit, it's still, in my opinion, the best tool to use for creating mixed reality experiences. Guidance on installing. Use that. Download it. Run the download to extract it, essentially. And tells us more about it after you've finished. Prefabs will appear in your Unity. Wait. Oh, after you've used it. I was like, we haven't even used it yet. What do you mean? Okay, in this step, as above, you'll use the mixed reality feature tool. Wait, so we actually are supposed to create the project in this step. You didn't tell me to create the project in this step. Okay, so it's giving us a link for how to do it. We followed this one already in the previous stream, like I said before, that we were just playing around with. So I'll open up my Unity Hub and hop into, is it this one? Hop into the project. While it loads, we will start getting ready to do this next step because we did this first step to select all of the plugins. Check out the video in the card. Actually, I don't have any cards. I don't even know how to set up cards. But if you look at two community days ago, maybe 3 community days ago video, we set up this project that I am opening, which is just the very baseline HoloLens 2 development project. Did we even put anything in the scene? Yeah, we put a button in the scene and showed it in the editor and showed that you can interact with it. And we'll see it once it comes up. But this link here should tell you how to do that. Let me just make sure it's the same one. Getting started, 3D app. Use the MRTK to select, at minimum, Mixed Reality Foundation, Toolkit Foundation, and then open XR plugin, which were the only 2 that we did. We followed all of the on-screen prompts. It told us to push a lot of fix. These yellow triangles would show up, and they said click on those and push fix. Here it is. Just keep pushing fix all. Every single time you see one of those, push fix all. And then I forgot to add the interaction profiles, and that's why we were having so many issues before, but then I did. And then we click fix all, fix, 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 fix. Okay. So we went through that, and that is the one that we did go through. And the project is open. Hey. So this is the project after applying the recommended scene and recommended project settings. I don't care. Another thing that you could do is on your camera, because black shows up as indivisible, you could set the skybox equal to black, which I like to do. So in order to do any customizations on any of the things from the Microsoft Reality Toolkit, you create a copy of the particular profile, configuration profile, and that's the thing that you would modify. So for example, our camera, we just did the entire toolkit configuration profile, but our camera, we're going to clone that as well. And now we can change our camera settings. And I'm doing this from memory, so if I'm wrong, don't blame me. You could see display settings and skybox. We'll turn to solid color. Haha. Yes. I can't believe I remember that. Okay, anyway. Go us. So now it'll look like any other HoloLens demo. And so what we have here is our player. And in the player, you can do things like right click to turn your head, and then hold shift to bring out your left arm. Hold spacebar for the right arm. Whoa, that thing is really close. And you can use the scroll wheel to zoom in and out. And I don't think you guys can hear it because I don't have the audio outputting from Unity to the stream, but it's making the button press noise, so I know that the button is getting pressed. You could also rotate the hand by holding control, or yeah, by holding control. So if you were pinching and trying to rotate, you could do that. You could have both hands out and pinching, and there's like some way to lock one hand. What is the lock? Anyway, bunches of crazy stuff. So anyway, we have our basic scene set up. We want to replace this button with the WebView 2 control. What is this thing? I don't want you. Put you in the scene content. And we'll move you away from the camera by a bit. Forgive me, I am not a Unity savvy. I'm not the best. I am not 100% comfortable with working in Unity. How do I decrease my speed? Okay. Okay. Yeah, I need it to be pretty slow. There we go. Okay. So there you have it. We have a button currently. We want to follow this WebView tutorial to add the WebView plugin and see if we can get a browser to show with content on it that we can interact with. So our next step then is to add the is to open up mixed reality feature tools so that we can add the WebView plugin. So mixed reality feature tool. The mixed reality feature tool looks exactly the way that you see it here. Even the same version number and everything. Because like I said, the actual feature tool itself doesn't get updated very often. So it's telling us to look in features and turn on preview and early access, or just preview, I guess. Click start, choose the path to the project. Oh yeah, that is one thing that totally messed with me that I didn't fully understand because I didn't read. So in case there are those of you that don't read, if you clone these samples yourself and you do the HoloLens getting started one, run the mixed reality feature tool on it by navigating to the folder for it and then clicking on restore features. That's the most important step to do before opening the project. because otherwise the project would be like, there are build errors. Do you want to open in safe mode? Oh, duh. It's under Unity projects. Oh, cool. There it is. Discover features. Scroll down to other features. Find the WebView preview. How do you guys have a full version that's a version higher than the preview version that I have? Hacks. Internal hacks. Watch this not work with the version that we get. Last updated today at 11:32, which is 2 minutes ago. I love how this one shows mixed reality WebView, or yeah, mixed reality WebView version 0.19. And in this screen, it's mixed reality WebView version 0.18. Kind of feels like our documentation for the app that I'm working on for work. Shh, don't tell anyone that. Okay, so anyway, get features. We see it in here. Push import. It's going to do some tarballs, adding it to your manifest for you. That's really all that this does for you, by the way. It modifies your manifest with the correct package dependencies, so that when you go back to your project, it loads it. Click approve. In your project's assets folder, inspect the WebView 2 prefab. So this is where all of you amazing Unity pros could help me out with reminding me, what is the thing that I push in order to find, never mind. T:/ space prefab. I'm gonna do my best to get used to remembering that. But we're gonna look specifically for the WebView, and there it is. And so now we're inspecting it. Go us. We're following instructions. It's now installed and imported. Continue with the next step below. We just did. Yes. Making progress on a thing. That never happens. Cool. Now that the WebView plugin is installed for you, set up WebView 2 prefab in your Unity scene as follows. So we find the prefab, drag it into our scene. With the WebView 2 prefab selected in the hierarchy, move it to a suitable location, such as the scene content. And like, isn't there a thing about dragging the prefab directly into the scene first before moving it under a collection? Hello, GokuJax. So, GokuJax, I am going through this tutorial for creating this WebView HoloLens experience thingy, but feel free if you want to, if you were still desiring to have a conversation about the repository and or other thing. I can't word right now. That is massive compared to the button. The repository pattern versus using services versus whatever my approach happens to be for all of that stuff. If you still have things that you wanted to discuss about it. No wonder it felt like I was moving so fast. This button is super duper tiny. So we're most likely going to be using this button. That's why I left it there. I thought that I was going to remove it from the scene, but I think part of this tutorial is to create a back button and address bar and a go button. Okay, so anyway, in the inspector window, you can change the initial URL by doing that. So our initial URL is going to be https:// and I want to see Blazor inside of this. So we're going to use my GitHub pages for the Blazor component library. Sorry, there's nothing at this Blazor component. This is not the right one. It's called Blazor dash component library. Okay, my bad. This is the one that I want to see. Cool. Now what? Test it. Just push play. And there it is. This massive WebView 2 control. Can I actually tap on it? No. Okay, so I can't interact with the links or anything like that. It's just a display only so far. Okay. Okay. So we tested it. We looked at it. We saw that there was a thing. And then you can build and deploy it on the actual device. What I could do, how hard would it be? How hard would that be? Let's change you to 1. Let's close that lid. Close this lid. Bye. I'm going to grab a couple of things really quick, but I'll be right back. I'll be right back. See me running around? I've got t-shirts galore. Okay. That was fun. Okay, here's what we're gonna try. This goes on my head. Coco Jack says, I asked the question the wrong way. It wasn't about unit of work. I was asking about the idea of collecting all HTTP client repos which consume API in one service class, as shown in the example of unit of work. So yes, I do like that approach, but I also like having them in their own classes. Like each API would get its own HTTP client class, and when I want to use each specific API, I would inject that specific typed HTTP client only. I wouldn't have, out of breath, I wouldn't have one main class that contains every single one of them. I would still just depend on dependency injection, because I wanted to say it that way, I guess, to get the specific HTTP client or HTTP clients that I would need for the APIs that my service is using or that my UI is using, wherever you're using that HTTP client. Okay, let me see if I can get this to look pretty. I doubt it, but we're gonna add, I'm gonna VLC media player. And this would be a good reason to extend my desktop now. Let's go to this scene for a minute while I expand my display settings. Yeah, I was going to launch that in a second. Okay, so all of the things that I want over there would be VLC, which I am now going to stream, nope, not stream, open network stream. Why are you empty? Play. You are also going to go over onto this screen. Okay, I really don't want anyone to get like motion sickness and stuff. Does this thing actually work? Make source visible, please. No, it does not work. Just move. I can't see. Okay, so you need to close. You need to close. Discord moves over here. There's a cat. I love the cat. All right, what is my display screen currently showing? The wrong screen. Go to this one. Nope. Go to this one. That's my display screen. Desktop. Yes. Close. Where are we? What are we doing? Where is it? Are you getting any kind of like echo feedback from the other audio source? You wouldn't yet. Even more ways to dox yourself. Absolutely. Like now you will see my windows directly. So I'm trying to make sure that all of my work products are cleared off of my desk. Or at least covered. That my windows are not displaying any sensitive information. My open windows. Not that I have sensitive information on my personal computer, other than just my stuff. And finally, that should be it. Okay, here we go. I'm gonna try adding my window capture for VLC. There it is. So that is my view from my HoloLens. I think we can make it just a little bit bigger. Oh, wow. Never mind. I thought that I had it cropped. Perfect. Oh, I probably do in the other scene. That's what it is. Okay. Anyway, good enough, right? Right. So now you can see that. So what I'm going to do then is hide it. So that, or actually, no. First thing was to show this menu. So it's like, whoop, you have a camera on your head. Wait, is that a hologram in front of your face? Sure is. So this is the thing that we use for being able to send your Unity stuff directly to the HoloLens in the player. Pretty. Anyway, it's waiting for me. So you can see it now. Again, I'm moving my head way too fast, so I hope none of you are getting motion sick. If you are, just let me know. I'll try to make this window small. Actually, you know what? I will make this window smaller. And I'll go ahead and put it here for now. Yeah, having it that small shouldn't cause too much vomiting, right? Why does it... Am I really tilted? Do I keep my head tilted? It's really annoying. That feels like it is lopsided on my head now. Okay, anyway. This is my house. I have a lamp. I have guitars. What I was trying to do was to go into Unity, which is over here, which you can see, and turn on holographic remoting by going to mixed reality, remoting holographic remote play, which opened way over here. And you just put in the IP address of your device. Oops, 168.047 says so right here. You can stop moving. It says right there. Enable. And then once I push play, you'll see this thingy here say receiving. There it is. And there's my app, which is using a boatload of memory because the mesh is turned. Oh my goodness, that's massive. The mesh is turned on. I don't think that I have my voice turned on because I knew that I would be talking. Microphone. Actually, you know what? Let's just do this in the editor. So by default, the sample mesh is turned on. And the way that we can turn that off is by going to the play space and main camera. No, this doesn't seem right. Toolkit. And profiler diagnostics. Okay, so as I mentioned, anytime that you're going to customize one of these configuration things, profiles, clone it first. And you can name it whatever you want, but turn off diagnostics was the thing that I wanted to know. Profiler. Turn off profiler was the thing that I wanted. And then where's the thing that actually shows the mesh? It has you put in a prefab for your mesh too. Spatial awareness. Yeah, it's this one. But are you actually the one that we use to turn off? I don't remember. I don't remember how to get rid of the wireframe. But anyway, we did see it work. That was the main thing that we wanted to see. We ran the app. Oh, great. Now where is it? Are you still loading? Where did it go? According to Unity, it should be right here in front of us. Hello? Okay, so turning that on broke stuff. One more time. There you are. Man, you're bright. Okay. Whoa, and there is something off about this button. It is making me go cross-eyed. But anyway, we have an interactable button. I can hear it in my headset. I don't know if you guys can. I don't know if you can hear me because I stepped so far away from the mic. But this button does work. And then, yeah, I can't interact with the WebView control. But that was only step one. We successfully added a WebView control to the scene. WebView plugin, WebView prefab. I'm going to have to work on terminology. You were much too close, man. That hurt my eyes. Okay, what's next? What do we do next? How do we make this more interactive? Although the prefab exposes just a single property, there's functionality exposed on WebView script. There's a WebView script. Now we know. Let's take a look at exposing some of this functionality in a project. First, inspect the WebView script. Ironic thing to say, stepped away from the microphone whilst you're wearing an array microphone on your head. I could be using, although was my sound coming through from the HoloLens? Because I wonder if I could just do that. I just think that the audio would be delayed. We'll try it. You can only hear my voice from this microphone. Yeah, we can see if we can control the audio from the VLC window, or at least have it output. What I was planning on doing is if I was going to have that on to move over there, which will be in the future, I was just going to use the wireless lav. I just need to remember to do that. But yeah, so let's look at the script. Strike. So you have a WebView script. here. Hello. How are you doing? Alt tab. Visual Studio is what I'm looking for. It's way over here. Okay. I'm not even. I was like about to start reviewing this code, like I was doing a PR. I just opened someone else's code. The automatic thing to do is a PR, right? Anyway, Scooch, you're in the way. What do you want us to see in this code? Now that you've, it does say review the code. That's why. All right, inspect the script to get an idea of what's available, and then extend functionality of the sample and the rest using these steps below. So let's take a look at this code. What does it do? Facilitates adding web views to your scene. Use either the built-in WebView prefab or create your own quad to position and render your WebView's contents with the help of WebView.cs. And I'm assuming that all you really have to do is add the script, a box collider on it so that you can interact with it, mesh renderer. I'm assuming we would want to at least add a rigid body so we can move it around, and then add some input controls. But yeah, it's just a quad with a WebView script on it. Okay. Um, so we need to use require component type of renderer because WebView system attaches the WebView texture to the GameObjects renderer's material. So it needs to have a renderer, in this case, a mesh view render. Man, I am so looking forward to figuring out how I could use this though. Like I'm already picturing having a ton of WebView prefabs, WebView objects in my scene that are the different parts of a dashboard. So like one of them will be only the component for adding transactions and stuff like that. Another one would be all of my account summary. Another one would be charts and graphs and stuff like that. All written in Blazor as the UI. And then having a black background would probably cause it to be transparent. That would be really cool. We're gonna explore this. My brain is going crazy with imaginations. So we know that we have only this one property exposed. You can see that here in the script. You only get the web view, or the URL. Current URL is dirty. We have this interface for a web view and a few events, a couple events that get emitted. So WebView is ready, WebView navigated. So on awake, create and configure WebView. And that is by using the WebView system.createWebView, using the game object that the script is attached to, and giving it a size of 1280 by 1280 by 720. I know how to read numbers, dang it. If it's null, then I'll put an error. Otherwise, adjust the width and the height for what? To scale it so that it fits. I don't know what, is this DirectX? No, D3, D11, I don't know what that is. Sometimes quads are aligned with their vertical component on Y and some on Z. So find out which one it is. Texture dimensions must be between 1 and 16384 inclusively. This is a reasonable cap for all platforms. We're finding out whether we are in landscape or portrait. If landscape, use scale horizontal over scale vertical. Otherwise, scale vertical over scale horizontal. Big dimension is the small dimension times aspect ratio. Cast to an int. If the larger dimension is too big, then decrease it to max size. And then make the smaller dimension the big dimension over aspect ratio so that preserves the aspect ratio. Blah, 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 blah. I have to do this kind of thing with the WPF desktop app after rendering the Blazor content, depending on the dimensions of the display that it's running on. And then there's actually a resize method on the WebView object on this iWebView. Yeah, I really want to inspect iWebView, but I don't think it's going to let me. But I'm sure it's in the repo. Where are we? Down here. And then it's subscribing to those exposed methods. So there are other exposed methods from the WebView directly, which are navigated once created. Once created. That's not an event. That is a promise. You can't use async. You actually have to use continue with. What kind of? This is going to be fun. Not really. I'm saying that very sarcastically. Needing to do this stuff where you're setting up your own thread context essentially, or at least tell it to use something for the thread context for asynchronous methods. I don't wanna. So if we are in the Unity editor, then we get a different kind of WebView inspector. Oh, so this is like the DevTools. So if we are in dev, so like in a WPF app, what you would normally do is hash if debug services dot add developer web tools. Anyway, you know what I'm talking about. The thing where you can push F12 from your WPF app, but only when you're in debug. So that's cool. Okay, what else do we see in here? So that happens on awake. That happens as soon as this script is loaded. Or is this life cycle specifically when the scene is loaded? Yeah, same also in Maui. Nobody likes the skewed screen. I didn't even see you read that. Of course we do. We like it. It's stylistic, is what we can call it. The excuse that people use for I didn't choose to do any more work. Opinions. How dare he express opinions like that? Post message. Okay, so there is a public method called post message. What does it do? No idea because it's not documented. So we would have to see what an I with post message does inside of a. Oh, so if a web view, the web view that we are keeping track of within the script implements I with post message is what I'm getting from this, then we can dot post message. But still, it would be nice to know what this method does. And then navigate to string. We know what that means. Wait a minute. This says navigate to string and the content is HTML markup. And that is if you have a web view that implements I with HTML injection. This would probably be the method that we use to render Blazor content. Like if we can inject HTML content and that would be our index.html page that has the scripts for loading the UWP version of the Blazor component rendering engine, then this is the method that we would use on startup. It's possible that we might be able to use the Blazor content, the Blazor component library. Kind of like HTML roar? Razor? Autocorrect. Come on, man. Be kind. Although you did say that it's kinder to you than Dragon was, so still, I'm gonna ask it to be kinder. HTML raw, yes, or markup string. Yeah. Oh yeah. Do you have a European accent, a British accent, or do you have an American accent? Or is it just that you tend to say the R sound at the end of words that end with W? I'd like to say it's English, which is better than British, obviously, and not American. Okay, so on load, we will load whatever the URL is that we put for current URL. Excuse me. Interesting. That says URI. Oh my goodness, I'm so blind. Okay, so if we try to use load and we pass in a URI, then it will try to go to that page. As soon as the web view is ready, that is. So if web view is null, then we needed to make sure that web view is ready and then tell it to load URI as soon as the web view is ready. Otherwise, we just do it immediately. You can get the web view from this script. So that exposes the web view to us. This feels very Java-y though. Why not just make the web view a public property, public read-only property? Like what I would do is make this public iWeb view. Although I don't think nullability is a thing yet. Web view get private set. Because there's no extra logic that this thing does in the get web view, was there? It's just return the private field WebView, which is essentially what this would do. Is it would have a hidden backing field called underscore WebView, and it would return that. For using public properties with private sets, because this is going to be running only on Windows 11 and the HoloLens. So I don't think that that would be a concern for this. And then they have another method, which is get WebView when ready, and this one makes more sense. Yeah, and so what it will do is it will take the method that you want to fire, that you want as your event callback, essentially, as soon as the WebView is ready. So if it's already ready, then it just immediately fires the callback and provides the WebView, versus subscribing to this. The question is, do you ever unsubscribe from it on destroy this .webview or .dispose? Yeah, so I don't think that this would be an issue because WebView Ready would only fire once anyway, but it's still good practice to, in your dispose, or I guess in this case, the on dispose, to unsubscribe from this event. So the way that I would improve this a little, and again, I don't know if it's necessary in a Unity project, is to first unsubscribe from the event and then dispose the WebView. Except that there would be no callback, so we can't we can't do it that way because this thing does not exist. So this would be turned into its own method. Ugh. Eh. Whatever. And then on serialize absolute URL changed. So that's when you are changing this property, say at runtime or in the editor. Looks like a method you'd see on a ballistic missile and destroy. On destroy, that's because you can destroy objects. What else would you call it? So yeah, so this is the thing that happens when you change the URL. So that maybe an event can be emitted. So this would also be like if you're navigating to a different page, because the current URL is the page that the WebView component is looking at. Nope, WebView object. Just call everything an object in Unity and you'll be fine, right? That's how it works. Okay, so we've read the code, we understand what is exposed to us, and we have some public methods that we could use. So now it's going to tell us how to further expand the control. The thing that I would really love for this thing to tell us is how do we interact with the displayed page. And I don't think it's going to tell us how to do that. User interactions. Unlike native HoloLens 2 slates, WebView 2 is best interacted with by using far interaction hand raise. Touch swipe and scroll might not be supported. Okay. So there is some hope for actual interaction with the page content. Okay. So here's what we're going to do. We are going to spend these last 10-ish minutes adding a canvas, putting a button on it, putting a text mesh input, I'm assuming. Yeah. And another button. Let's do it. So under mixed reality scene content, add a new input component. We're adding the input component first, which automatically adds a canvas. Oh, well, that makes sense. Okay. Excuse me. Input, input, input. I don't have Text Mesh Pro. How do I get Text Mesh Pro? I do have Text Mesh Pro. It was part of the whole setup. Component. UI, probably. No. Input. Wait. Oh, it's GameObject. UI. Text. Text Mesh Pro. Right? Is that what it told us to use? UI. Input field. Text Mesh Pro. UI. Oh, on this. UI. Input field. Gosh, I hope that's the same as this. Oh, no, it's down here. I'm so blind. I am so blind. Did you use Signal R and Blazor Wasm for push notifications? I haven't tried the actual push notifications part yet, but I've definitely done Signal R with Blazor Wasm for real-time updates. So an example of that would be on HasTrack. Oh, man. So this is the thing about Mouse Without Borders is you get too close to the edge, then it switches displays on you. Okay. I do too. Take me to the login. Oh, good grief. Okay. What I'm hoping will happen is I now have two different sessions. And so if I add a new report, sure, we'll use my name. Yeah, yeah. Submit. Then we will immediately, come on, we will immediately see it in here. Dang it. What if I change? Oh man. Okay, well it was working. So essentially, whenever you make a change to any of these reports, it would immediately show up in any other user's session that is either well, it'll happen in every user's connected session where they'll receive a message that says, this report number was created or updated. It's this type. So if their filter type matches, then it will add it to their list. And if it is an existing one that got updated, and it's already displayed on their page, it will update. And that's done using Signal R. And it was really, really easy to set up. But as far as doing push notifications, I think I started to, but I never did get around to actually implementing push notifications. Okay, add 2 new buttons. And we're actually going to use the pressable buttons. So we're going to have pressable button 1, pressable button 2, and what are we calling them? Oh, and they actually go. Oh, and then move the WebView to, or WebView control. Is that sample on GitHub? I do not have that one on GitHub because it was a work product, but do I have anything that's using? Signal R on GitHub. No. No, I do not. I know that it was really, really easy to set up. Yeah, here is the Microsoft Learn documentation for setting it up. I know that right now the tab that's selected is Blazor Server, but you can see that it also has a Blazor WebAssembly version. They're both pretty similar anyway. You're just essentially doing builder.services.add Signal R. And then setting up a Signal R endpoint, Signal R hub. But we can definitely go over that example on Monday if you're going to be here. I can show you how exactly I do it in HasTrack. Okay, so then the canvas needs to be set to 600 by 400. Oh, some values are driven by canvas. Uh-huh. What? Okay, what does that mean? Convert to an MRTK canvas. What does that button do? So I think canvas may have changed. But yeah, I can't scale canvas as it is. So I'm going to guess that I need to push this button. And was that like a thing that it told me in here? No, it did not tell me anything about pushing that button. So let's just see what that button does. It makes it so that I can change these values. Oh, right. And you're supposed to be like way over here. And you, where are you? Whoa. What are you doing way over there? Oh my gosh. I don't even know where the canvas is relative to where you are. Wait, what? Huh? Whoa, canvas. All right, let's put you at 0, 0, 0, 0. And then let's move the canvas so that we could see it. But where did the web view? It's behind the button. Oh my gosh, this thing is massive. Massive. All right. 600 by 400. There's supposed to be a 1.5, which puts it really, really close to the scene, to the camera. And a scale of 0.001, 0.001, 0.001. Okay. And then the address field. Have you started the stream yet? I'm done with lunch. I'm done with lunch. No joke there, but everything else, yeah. You're funny. All right. -2, 178 -5. We did successfully get a WebView control added to that project that we started 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago. Weather text box that size, imagine the size. With a text box that size, imagine the size of the keyboard. Oh my gosh. I have to go all the way across the room just to push the P key. 390 and 30. Okay. Don't worry about the buttons yet. Right now I want to see, actually I do kind of want the positions of the buttons. So we'll call this our back button. And we'll call this one our go button. Yeah, I can't even see them anymore once I put them on the canvas. Really annoying. -248, 178 -5. That one was the back button. Oh, 75 and 30. That's not going to work the way that I was expecting it to. I have a feeling that the button just got really, really small. Yeah. And it's because of scaling the canvas while the button was inside of it. Okay, so now the buttons are just going to be too... Actually, they're not going to be too big. That's the right size. That looks really nice next to the address bar. Okay, I don't want to quit. And then I'm going to say 248, 178, -5. Yeah, that looks pretty nice. And then the web view. And that's going to be position 0, 0, 0 -16 -5 with a scale of 573/40. And there we go. Okay, let's turn off holographic remoting real quick. Push play. See what this looks like for the moment. And maybe we'll finish this. Just not used to using WYSIWYG. Yeah. So yeah, that doesn't look bad at all. It's doing kind of what we're expecting it to do. The thing that would be nice if we are able to find out in this tutorial is whether we are able to interact with the page eventually so that the links on the page work. And then, of course, once we're done with the Xbox input and the buttons for back and go, then we'll know that those work. So we're going to stop there for today, though. That was a lot of fun. That was cool. Does anyone have any recommended raid streams? I can remember using the select with normal web pages, including my Blazor apps. Like the normal gesture for select. We're going to go to this screen. Oh, wait. Yeah, if you don't have any recommended people to raid, then I definitely did I try register the hub connection? I don't know what you mean by that. The hub was part of my hosted API, so it existed in the same place that the Blazor Wasm's hosted API exists, and it was just an endpoint there. Yeah, I've never done it like that. The way that I did it was simply map endpoint. Yeah, I'll read that blog and I'll find out if it's something that's just like completely different. But this looks like I've never used that approach. This seems like a different approach. Refrigerator. Oh, like going to the actual refrigerator. Did you hear my stomach growl just now? Because it did. Yeah, I don't know. Like, it seems like you would prefer to use these clever methods as opposed to straightforward methods for doing common things. But like, there's a straightforward way to just do Blazor dot, or not Blazor, services dot use signal R and, or add signal R or something like that. And then app dot map signal R. I don't know what it's called, but app dot map hub or app dot whatever. But yes, we're going to the fridge, so definitely ciao for now. People all access badged. Oh my goodness. Yeah, sounds good. Okay, so we'll talk about it on Monday, and we'll probably end up just finishing out the tutorial on Monday first thing as well, just because it looks like a lot of fun to figure out the rest of it. So I hope you guys have a great weekend. I'm just going to hop back to work and yeah, be lurking on other people's channels. So right now I'm lurking on Red Cabin, Code Rad, Solo Solipsis, and C Sharp Fritz in multi-stream. So Feel free to see me anywhere in there, but I most likely won't be talking anyway. But I'll be in those streams, just watching, just listening. So yeah, ciao for now. Have a great weekend. Bye. Oh, this video will be posted to YouTube no sooner than 24 hours after I end the stream. Feel free to join us on Discord. Catch us again on Monday, 10:30 a.m. Mountain Daylight Time, UTC -6.